All right, it's springtime, and maybe you're like a lot of the other viewers, you've put in some trees and shrubs already this spring. If that's the case, there are a number of considerations. Some things to do, some things not to do, and then some things that might be a good idea to do, depending on the local situation. First of all, moisture. Now, we want to keep the roots moist, but not soggy and not dry. A lot of viewers like to really tend and really care for plants, and that really leads to, in many cases, an overdoing of the water. Use a screwdriver, stick it in the ground, pull it out, and feel the end of it. It'll tell you whether it's too moist or not too moist. The second thing is, in order to cool the soil temperature and to keep the moisture intact, 2 to 3 inches of wood chips around the base of the tree really work really well. Again, too much is too much. And also, piling them against the trunk is not so good. That really equates to what we call a mulch volcano. It's not good because it holds in too much moisture, and it also protects the plant and creates a haven for critters. Now, speaking of critters, that might be something you want to think about, is around the base of the tree, you need some critter protection, especially if you're in a wild and woolly situation. So hardwood cloth and chicken wire, those become really good things you might want to think about. The other thing that maybe you do is provide some staking for the tree. Now, this is important if you're in a windswept area. So if you're in an area that gets really strong winds all summer long, well, then maybe some loose staking is in order. We can do this a variety of ways. We can use rigid stakes and then loosely tie some strapping material to them, or we can use whatever's nearby, like if there happens to be a fence nearby. We can tie a loose string around that, and then something around the tree or tree's trunk that isn't too tight, and that works out really well also. So you just kind of have to size up the situation. Now, in terms of things you just don't want to do, you don't want to put on any starter fertilizer at planting time. We want to let the soil encourage the new roots to go off. Of course, you want to loosen the soil and let the roots start going off by themselves. But there's always a risk of burning the roots when you put on starter fertilizer, and also possibly creating too much top growth at the expense of root growth. So no fertilizer at planting time, also no vitamins at planting time. There's no research that supports the use of vitamins. In fact, just the opposite. Some of the research from Washington State and other land-grant universities indicate that it's not helpful at all. And so why pay for it? Why use it? So keep all those things in mind, and you'll be off to a really good start getting those new trees and shrubs in force and having success as the year rolls along.